welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Leadership Tidbits with Coach Wilson. I have another amazing guest here in the studio with us. I'm very excited about it. Have you wanted to master your message? You wanted to have just the right words so that your message was able to be received by anybody that heard it? If that is you, whether it's in the corporate space, whether it's in your personal life, whether it's, well, anywhere, then you are in the right place because my guest tonight is going to give us everything. Well, maybe not everything, but mostly everything that we need to master our message. So I am just excited to welcome Dr. Jonas Gadson into our virtual learning laboratory. Dr. Gadson, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I am awesome. Well, I have your bio, and I know I'm not going to do it justice, but I am going to read your bio, and then I'm going to let you take it away and tell us a little bit about your journey. But viewers, come on in before I give Dr. Jonas's bio. Come on in, share this broadcast out because you might be the messenger for somebody who needs to hear this message. So, Dr. Jonas Gadson, known as Mr. Enthusiastic, and after you hear it, you are going to know exactly why, is an international motivational speaker, best-selling author, corporate trainer, radio personality, and expert communications coach. He has worked over 30 years for two Fortune 500 companies, Xerox Corporation and Eastman Kodak Company. At Eastman Kodak, he trained over 8,000 employees from 69 countries and earned Trainer of the Year award, which I'm not surprised by that. In 2020, he spoke at the Women Tech Virtual Summit in London, England, and the Worldwide Summit, reaching professionals from 6 to 7 continents. I mean, Dr. Jonas is on fire, if you didn't know. He is a distinguished Toastmaster, a graduate of Dale Carnegie, and earned a doctorate degree in theology. He was inducted into the Beaufort High School Alumni Hall of Fame for distinguishing himself in the profession of leadership and service. He was featured in Powerhouse Global magazine in London, England. Listen, he is global. He has a chapter in all of these Amazon 2021 best-selling books. You Are Enough, Make It Better, and I Am a Victor. Listen, Dr. Jonas, you do it. You listen. You out here changing the world. They know you on all these continents. What is up? That's awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
So, Dr. Jonas, this show, we are all about inspiring the next generation of leaders, all about giving the audience some tools that they can use in both their personal and professional life. I think it's important to get exposure to leaders all around the globe. And you are coming to us from South Carolina, which is
Yes.
awesome. So, I love it. So, tell the viewers a little bit about your leadership journey. I know I talked a little bit about it, but let them know who you are and what you're up to today.
Thank you so much. Well, there are three kinds of people: those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those who wondered what happened. I am a person that make things happen, and I know that you are too. I am so great and thankful to be on your program, Miss Wilson. So proud of you. And the accolades that you read, you did it so well. I was questioning myself: is she reading the right bio? It sounds much better coming out of your mouth. Well, I all of you said was great, but I also want to say a little bit about where I came from. I was born in South Carolina on a plantation. And when I was going to school, we didn't have our own books. We had copies of books of other people who had the book prior to us. When I graduated from Beaufort High School in 1971. When I left here from Beaufort, I was a janitor. And then I went up to Rochester, New York, and I got a job in a training program at Xerox for about 6 weeks. And then they hired me, and I was only 17 years old. And being a country boy, I had never seen so many people living so close. Then I remember one time invited out to dinner. I've never experienced people fixing all of their food for one meal. And so then I got a job at Xerox. And then, of course, with my heavy accent, people used to laugh at me and making fun at me, and because of my language. And so then I went to Kodak. And then again, I started growing and went to school and took public speaking, and then got a coach to teach me how to enunciate a word, not to eliminate my accent. That's part who I am. And then being in Kodak, started off as a handler on the line, and then when I left there, retire early. I trained over 8,000 people from around the world and got the Trainer Year Award. I took an early retirement because my mother took ill, so I moved back down to South Carolina to take care of my mother. Someone said to me, said, "Why are you leaving this good job and to go back to South Carolina?" I said, I can get another job. I only have one mother, and my mother had been my Motel 6. She have kept the light on for me. So I always want to tell the story in a way so people can know it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter where you are right now. What does matter is where you're going. This is your time, and this is your turn. This is the decade for the doers. Get it done in 2021. Maybe you didn't do so well the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, but this is the fourth quarter. This is your time. Your dreams, your goals, your aspiration is critical. You're not here by chance. You're here by choice. If you got a pulse, you still got a purpose. And communication is so critical in every aspect of your life. Now, I've talked to a lot of people over the years, and they said, "Well, they said I have the gift. They have the gift of gab." Well, you might be able to talk, but who's listening to you? But the first tip I want to give you about being an effective communicator is realizing that we were given 2 ears and one mouth. We must listen twice as much as we talk. And matter of fact, it's 60% is listening. See, so I'm an observer. I just graduated in so many different classes, and Dr. Wood and many of the wonderful people thought I was quiet because I didn't say much. I don't say much when it's time for me to learn. See, I'm expunging. See, some people be talking when they should be listening. So what I want to talk to you, and I'm going to spread a few tips in as I go that will help you tremendously. But what I want to talk about to set the stage, even though we're talking about mastering your message, there's a few things you need to do before you can master the message. And there's 3 things. Number 1, you got to master yourself. You got to master yourself. You got to work harder on yourself than you do on the job. I've invested over $100,000 in my personal and professional development. Someone said to me not that long ago, Ms. Wilson said, "Dr. Gadson, you working so hard on yourself? Are you trying to get somebody?" I said, "No, I'm working hard on myself because I'm working to be somebody." Master yourself. That's very, 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 very important that you work on yourself. I have a huge library, about 30,000 books that's in there because I'm learning, I'm growing. Now, keep in mind now, when I went to school, we had other people book. When I graduated from school, I never read a book. and now I'm an author of my book, and with 4 other books, all done in the pandemic. Now, let me tell you the title of my book, How to Fly Like an Eagle with Wings Like a Wimp. I think I said something. I think that's a bonus from Jonas. How to Fly Like an Eagle with Wings Like a Wimp. It teaches you how to take a chance, take charge, and take control of your life. But work on yourself. You are worth it. You are worth it. We need to hear your story. We need to hear your voice. And let me tell you something. And what the things that happened to me and happened to you, it didn't happen for you, against you. It worked for you. Because you remember I told you when they invite me back 40 years ago later on the air station where I was a janitor before I left South Carolina. When I came back, I was an author, and I gave the keynote for the whole class, 40th class. See, so it doesn't matter where you've been. Now, I'm not bragging on me. I'm just telling you what you can do. See, my purpose in life is to help you live yours. There's a book in you. There's a restaurant in you. There's a story in you. And you are pregnant with possibility. Don't abort your dream, birth your dream. Oh, I think I said something. I think that's another bonus from Jonas. I said, don't abort your dream, birth your dream. This is your time, and this is your turn. Because when your value is clear, bonus from Jonas, when your value is clear, your decision is easy. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You're not 1 in a million. You are 1 in 8 billion. I mentioned this when I was speaking in Atlanta on my speech, Say Yes to Your Success. And I shared this story and it went over well. So I'm going to share this to prove that you're a winner. Scientists have discovered that when your mother and father got together and had you, there was only 1 egg that came out that weighed in a long dark tunnel, and your sperm came out. You outswam 500 million sperms to get here. You will never face that kind of odds the rest of your life. You're a winner. I know someone said, well, Dr. Jonas, I can't even swim. I know, but you swam once uphill because there was only 1 egg in that long, dark tunnel, and you got there first. You are a winner. You are born a winner.
Dr. Jonas is on fire.
Bonus from Jonas. So master yourself. Work on yourself. Now, let me just say something else now. All of this is talking about mastering your message, but you can't master your message until you master yourself. Now, here's a bonus now. This one might have, I'm not trying to offend you, but too many people that I know you won't do this. Too many people that I know, they're putting all so much money, spending so much money on themselves, but they're not putting anything in themselves. You need a checkup from the neck up. I don't care how many legs a caterpillar has, and I don't care how fast he can run. He can never fly until he's turned into a butterfly. And by the way, now the bonus from Jonas, you need to move away from change. Change is temporary. Move away from change to transformation, a metamorphosis. Are you listening? See, all the time the caterpillar was crawling, didn't realize there was a butterfly inside him. And let me tell you, when you realize who you are and whose you are, one of the scriptures I like is said, mount up with wings like an eagle. It's eagle times. Okay, so master yourself. Master. And then the second thing, and because I'm gonna give you some tip about the actual presentation. The second thing is master your subject. Learn to be a specific. Learn to be a specialty. I mean, sometimes we're a jack of all trade and we are not focusing on anything. Another book I love is that this one thing I do. See, some of you are brilliant, but you all over the place. You're nowhere at the same time because you lose focus. Now, let me tell you something else. What's coming out in my brand new book, coming out the first of the year. Here's what I've learned. Most of my life, I was a lifelong learner. And now, there are some benefits in being a lifelong learner. But what I discover, you are learning a whole lot of things that ain't going to never help you. You ain't going nowhere with most of the things that you're learning as a lifetime learner. So in my new book, I don't advocate a lifetime learner no more. You got to be a laser learner. See, a laser focused correctly will go through steel. And when you're a laser learner, you don't go in something and come out with something else. What you go in there for, you know exactly what you're going in there for. So be a laser learner. So you're learning all the things that you need to get to the next level. So master your subject. And then master your specific audience. Know your audience. Before I speak to an audience, I learn as much as I can about the audience. Where do they live? Where do they work? How much degree they're, what culture they're in. All of this. See, I don't do canned messages. I do specific. I know I was going to be honored to be with one of my colleagues, Miss Wilson. And I said, you know what? And I'm on LinkedIn too. So I got to link up. I got to link up with somebody that's going somewhere like Miss Wilson. And away we go. And grow. Amen. So I'm on LinkedIn and I want to link up. And by the way, since I'm on this limb, I just said, well, I'll pick the fruit. See, let me tell you something. You need to, some people say, you teaching a lot on Zoom? Yeah. So you need to zoom right on in on those classes to learn as much as you can. I ask people sometimes, Ms. Wilson, I said, how many of you have Facebook? And they have, and some people don't. I said, all right, then. I said, you don't have Facebook? I'm going to give you Facebook right tonight. Get your face in this book. See, everybody can get their face in the book. And you know what I've learned too, as a speaker and as a leader? A reader is a leader. You got to read, whether you like it or not. Now, when I graduated from high school, I couldn't read that well. When I bought most of my books, I couldn't read, but I knew there would come a day that I need to take it serious. That day has come, and it's here to stay, because you can always better your best. See, I'm learning every day. I'm growing. And so those are just things that now I skipped those. I went over it a little quickly, but you got to master yourself. You got to master your subject. And talking about your subject that you're talking about, like I'm on communication. And then you got to master your specific audience. You got to know your audience. You got to continue to grow and develop yourself. Okay, so now here are some other tips I want to share with you. We're living in a time now in this pandemic. People got what I usually call the three H's. People got hurts, habits, and hangups. I stopped by just a few moments tonight to give you the healing power. You see, the medicine is in your mouth. I think I said something. The medicine is in your mouth. One book that I read, it said, death and life is in your mouth. I grew up during the time, and maybe some of you, I grew up during the time where we were saying that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words cannot harm. That's the scripture said, Job said, why you continue to vex my soul and break me into pieces with words. Some of you are scarred up because somebody told you what you can't be, what you can't do, and what you can't have. But let me tell you something. Don't believe them. believe the God that made you, and he said you are fearful and wonderfully made. You're one of a kind. No one else can duplicate your fingerprint, your handwriting, or your child. You are biologically unique. So a reader is a leader. Okay, so here's a few other things I want to share. Not only with the hurts, the habits, and hang up, and the healing, I also want to share that sometimes what stops us from being the best that we can be is the things that happened to us in our past. So the negative things that happened to you in your past, number one, don't nurse it. Number two, don't curse it. Number three, don't rehearse it. Oh, Lord. I said, Brother Jonas, I don't know what to do. I mean, you just tore up all of my stuff. If I can't curse it, if I can't nurse it, and I can't revert, and I can't curse it, I can't rehearse it, well, what to do? Bonus from Jonas. Reverse it. This is the time for reversing time. And so this is very, because sometimes we spend so much time nursing this stuff, cursing what happened. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something else. Another bonus from Jonas. Don't let your ex mess you up for the next. Ooh, I think I said something. Bonus from Jonas. I said, don't let your ex mess you up for the next. And let me just tell you something. I'm already on a limb. I just will pick the fruit. Now, some of you are dating bozos. And then you wonder why they're acting like a clown. That's what bozo does. Come on. Now, so someone said, well, Dr. Jonas, if I can't date bozo, who can I date? What about Boaz? Someone said, I don't know who Boaz is because you've been messing with too many bozo. And as long as you with bozo, Boaz ain't gonna never come. Come on, somebody. I know I'm on the limb tonight, but I'm trying to help somebody to realize who you are and whose you are. We got too many people are settling. You're better than that. Sisters, you're queens. Brothers, you're a king. Let's start working that way and acting that way. And learn how to, and by the way, let me say this why I'm Muslim. Another reason why communication is so critical. There are three things that cause marriage in America to be 50% divorce in the church and in society. And three things, and number one is the lack of effective communication. Not only this communication, I'm talking to you, though, not only this going to help you in corporate America, not only it can help you to get a raise, not only going to help you to do big things in life, but it's going to help you to be able to interact with your children better, to interact with your wife better. Because some of us, I'm talking about communication now, but some of us, we are treating every woman that we know with respect instead for the woman that we with. We used to open doors for them. We used to say thank you. We used to all of that. Now we are taking them for granted. That's our queen. Are you listening? I'm trying to help somebody. All of this is talking about communication. Someone said communication. You have to be able to talk effectively. Sit down and reason together. You unite together. So I'm talking about communication, so I'm going to emphasize the communication. But the other one is finance. Okay. And the other one is sexual incompatibility. But communication, let me tell you something. Communication is so important. Warren Buffett, a billionaire, was interviewed not that long ago. And all of these investors asked him a question. What is the best stock that we should invest in the 20th century, 21st century and beyond? They would look for either stocks or bond, or he said the number one investment that you need to make in the 21st century is an investment in public speaking. He attributed all of his billions to public speaking. It was said about him that the only certificate he has in his office is a certificate that he got from Dale Carnegie. And that is a educational teaching you how to speak. And then he went a step further, that in another audience, he said public speaking is number one. In another audience, he said number two is personal development. He's a billionaire and he still read 500-page book a day as a billionaire. There's a reason why a group of people didn't want us to learn how to read. But now we can do it. So I'm going to stop there, but I just want to share some of those thoughts. Let you know that communication, but you got to master the messenger, because you are the message. People buy you before they buy your product. People, if they like you and trust you, and knowing that you genuinely care. I'm a product. I'm Jonas the bonus. I'm a product. Come on, somebody. Doors open when I say Jonas with the bonus. Most people don't even know my last name, and it doesn't matter. Jonas the bonus. Are you listening to me? So I'm hoping and trusting that something was said about the importance of communication. I teach that. I train communication, and I'm going to give you, all of you that's on, a free gift. Before the broadcast, you can go and get your free gift that's going to give you give you 7 C's, how to become a great communicator. It's some great information. And if you decide that you want to work with me in coaching, because that's going to only be an introduction. One of the lessons that I'm going to teach in the first class is being brilliant in the basics. Be brilliant in the basics. Someone said, well, Brother Jonas, you saying all this, why if somebody take all this stuff and go use it? Why you think I'm giving it to you? I want you to use it. I'm not coming from a place of a scarcity. I'm coming from a place of abundance. There's enough out there. There's enough out here for all of us. Are you listening? I'm sharing you some of the best. Now, let me just give you this tip here, because I see a lot of people. Now, this tip I'm going to give you, I paid $3,000 for it. You're gonna say it's simple, but I didn't know it, and I paid $3,000 for it. What was that? A lot of you getting ready to do presentation. Number one, milk is the worst thing to drink when you're doing a presentation. That's number one. But here's a tip that I paid $3,000 for: do not drink cold water with ice in it, and because that seizes up your vocal cord, and you're doing serious damage. When you talk about you're damaging your vocal cord. Are you listening? The temperature of the water you should drink as a speaker should be it's a little cool, and that's going to help you. Now, I went to a training a number of years ago. And that's how much I paid to learn that. And warming up my voice, my vocal. This is your tool. You can't treat it all kinds of way. You can't drink all the wrong stuff and smoke all the wrong stuff and then think you can still have vocal cord. And then asking the Lord, I don't know why you allowed that to happen to me. He didn't have nothing to do with that. That was your idea. How is that working for you? Bonus from Jonas: if you cheat yourself in your preparation, it will show up in your presentation. Ooh, I think I said something. I know that's a bonus from Jonas. If you cheat yourself in your preparation, it will show up in your presentation. So I'm hoping that something was said. There's a whole lot of things I could say, but I would try to give you some things to encourage you to know who you are and whose you are. And this is your time, and this is your turn. And when things go wrong, don't go wrong with them. I think I said something. When things go wrong, don't you go wrong with them. Because the reason why you're still here, we were born with a gift inside of us. But we have to nourish that gift. He said, if you nourish that gift will take you in front of King. A country boy grew up on a plantation, now speaking to people from around the world. And I'm proud that I was born on a plantation because it helped me to be the man that I am, because I grew up with senior citizen. Are you listening? Taught me yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and excuse me, and thank you, and work ethic. The senior citizen, they've been right along with my mother. They've been my Motel 6. Kept the light on for me. And I hope that I lit a little bit brighter. And if you want to know more, if you want to work with me, then, you know, I'll give you the information in a minute. But right now, I'm going to turn it back over to my fantastic friend, Ms. Wilson. Thank you so much for having a country boy on your program today.
Dr. Jonas, like I knew you was going to be fire like you always are. So listen, you said so many tidbits. It's like, okay, where do I start? But first, we do got some people that have tuned in. You got family out here that's tuning in. It's like, that's my uncle. So I got to shout him out because, you know. So you got Ella.
Yes.
She's like, good evening. You know, you her favorite. I don't know if she's saying that just because you on here lighting the stage up. No, but she said you my favorite. So hey, Ella, thanks for joining. We got Cammie, who will be our mentor in our laboratory next week. So she's coming in from Atlanta. So excited to see her here. We have Robin. She's saying good evening. She's from Dayton, Ohio, which is my hometown. So hey.
Right.
Then we have Leanna. She's saying good evening from Connecticut. Courtney, she's saying, whoa. She said, when you start talking, she said, listen, if I was multitasking, I need to sit down and take some notes on this. And then we have somebody, I'm not sure who it is, but they said hello. And then we also have another one of your nephew, Jeffrey. And he said, listen, I'm watching you, Unc. So all of those who are listening, if you got some questions for Dr. Jonas or you got anything out of his message, and I don't know how you couldn't have got anything, but feel free to drop it in. We have Rochelle. She's coming in from Maryland. But the three things, I mean, this is just one of the set of three things. But master yourself. So work harder on yourself than you do on your job. People work on their job so much. And I think that was just powerful that you said, work on yourself, invest in yourself. The second thing, master your subject. So, you know, being a jack of all trades ain't hitting on nothing when you're the master of none.
That's right.
Master your subject. So whether you in your corporate career, if you are out here mentoring and coaching, if you are out here in your personal life, master your subject. Don't try to be everybody. Listen, you can only be you. Everybody else is taken. So master you, the one that's not taken.
That's right. That's right.
And the third was master your specific audience. So listen, there's an audience for everybody, especially if you are in business. If you're in business, don't try to speak to everybody, because listen, when you try to speak to everybody, then nobody gets your message.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So you need to speak to your specific audience. So grow yourself. And we talk about the mentors that come on this show week after week. They talk about it all the time. Grow yourself, develop yourself. Dr. Jonas said he done spent over $100,000 on himself, and that's not uncommon. If you want to play and run around with the big dogs, you got to play and run around with the big dogs, and that starts with investing in yourself. That's so right. I love everything that you said. I mean, you gave so many nuggets. I'm like frantically writing everything down, but mastering your message. And sometimes people don't understand really how to cultivate that message. And I'm thinking about, I'm in the laboratory space, and we are typically technical people, background. So we know the ins and outs, the technical jargon. But sometimes having that technical jargon, we don't have that the way to communicate, to connect. So can you talk to the viewers a little bit about that connection being able to not just talk, but being able to connect. I think that's so important.
Yes, that's critical, and that's one of the C's of the seven C's. One of them is connect, because a lot of people are talking, but they're not connecting. They're not speaking the language, and of course, there's different language people. There's different language now that you need to know. But if you're not connecting, and you have to be taught how to connect, you got to be taught how to listen. Some of us, we don't listen. It's like you were speaking a moment ago, Mr. Wilson, and say, I'm not listening to you. I'm just waiting for you to take a breath, because I know if you take a breath, I'm going to take the conversation over. So listening and connecting, that's why you have to know your audience. That's why you have to do an assessment on who that you're speaking to. Well, I was on the platform on Saturday with Les Brown and Dr. Woods and others, and the place was packed. But I needed to know who was in the room. And what I knew it was in the room were mostly business people and professional people. So then I changed my lesson. Now, I spoke on success, but I said, say yes to your business success. So connection is very, very important. And that's why you need a coach. There's a saying that I have developed right now. He said that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, get you a coach. Mm-hmm. Anybody who's been successful in the sports arena, or any one of them, they had coaches. You can't, I was making a mistake in life. Sometimes in Toastmasters, you compete against a lot of people. I'm a DTM, and that organization is over 300,000 people. I won a lot of contests and told a lot of people, but I would have went further. All the ones that did beat me, they had coaches. Mm-hmm. See, don't try to go it alone. You're not going to make it. I know we live in a society that said me, me, me. No, you got to turn that me into we. You got to build a team of collaboration. That's what I did in 2020. I decided that I want to do collaboration. And now I grouped up with other professionals. And now I know about 500 different people that I didn't know. Because like I said before, if you're the smartest person in your group, you need to get you a new group. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And let me just tell you, since I'm a country boy, let me just tell you this. Some of you will be able to relate to this. When I was growing up, and we go in the creek, and we literally get the crabs. And we get the crabs, we come back and put it in the tub. The crabs are still alive. When we put the water in it, the crabs are still alive. When we start put the heat on it, the crab is still alive. But see, some of the crab reached up to try to get out, but the other crabs pull them back down. So consequently, they all got cooked and they all got eaten. What are you saying? You got some crabbish people in your life. They're not going anywhere, and they want you to go with them. But this is your time and this is your turn. There's a book in you. There's a song in you. We need to hear your voice. I wish I had time to tell about stories, because sometimes whatever you've been through, it brought you through. One of my scriptures said, yea, though you walk through the shadow of death. And I said, you know what? A lot of people don't realize it wasn't as dark as David thought it was, because he could see a shadow. And anytime you can see a shadow, and let me tell you something else while I'm on this point. Your darkest time in life always come before dawn. I think I said something. Somebody says, it's so dark, it's so tough. Listen, stop cursing the darkness, rather, and turn the light on. Don't listen. Bonus from Jonas. Don't turn your couch into a coffin. Ooh, I think I said don't. I think I better repeat that. Bonus. Don't turn your couch into a coffin. Don't listen. Live first. Some people say I'm willing to die. Listen, we don't need nobody to die right now. Live first. Live full and die. That connection is so important. Now, when Ms. Wilson read all of those things about me, I keep those things on, not because of me. The reason why I want it read, so I can connect with the people. Some people in there, they ain't gonna listen to me without the doctorate degree. Some ain't gonna listen because without the Toastmaster DTM and the authorship and the corporate America. It's not for me, but it's to build acceptance. That people say, well, man, he might know a few things because that's why I tell him about the plantation situation. To tell him, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. Somebody say, this one treat me wrong, but that's all right. Learn so you don't select another one that will treat you wrong again. Work on yourself. Value yourself. And if you value yourself and you can speak, now I'm not talking about manipulation now. I'm talking about speaking positivity and encouraging people. And then the other thing is, the reason why I told you about the plantation, because I want you to know where I started from. Because, see, if I don't tell you where I come from and some of my failures, you'll think that I was born this way. Oh, no. I came up on the rough side of the mountain. But you know what? When I got on the top, I was stronger for the climb. Y'all not listening to me. So some of us are weak because we wouldn't climb and reach back. Yeah, reach back. Don't ever look down on another human being unless you're looking down to give them a hand up. We are in this thing together. And if I lit your fire tonight and you leave here fire, the world will be a little bit brighter. Because we all are shining light. So if you work with me, I'm gonna give you everything I got. That all I took, the $100,000 and 30 years it took me, 20 years, and all these books I've read, I'm gonna give you everything. I'm just like Dr. Wood. Now you make come hook up with me. Well, I'm gonna give you this is a little preview. This is a little. I was trying to be good because it's a leadership tidbits. I said I got to be careful. I got to give a little tip. But this is a little preview. There's a bonus from Jonas.
Dr. Jonas, that was good. So some of our viewers who might be, watching the show or will listen to the replay, they may say, well, I'm not a speaker or I'm not a coach, but they may be a manager or they may be, an individual contributor. So how does their mastering their message help them? So like what's in it for me if I am an individual contributor or if I happen to be somebody's supervisor?
This speaking here is for everybody in every situation. As I said earlier, to your husband, to your wife, to your significant other, to get a loan at the bank, to be able to negotiate. See, what I've learned in life? We don't get in life what we deserve. We get in life what we're able to negotiate. And if you can't communicate effectively with confidence and with clarity, it doesn't matter what your job is. You can say, well, I work in a cubit in a lab by myself. Well, you're going to still have to talk your way out of there. At some point, you're going to have to say, this will benefit everybody. And let me tell you this, since I'm on this, let me say this. If you don't choose to work with me, that's okay. Just find somebody who can mentor you. And by the way, let me just tell you this now. Listen. No one is going to help you under free. You're going to have to put an F in that free and for fee. Are you listening? What I'm talking about, I paid. I invested in myself because I'm worth it. And you are worth it too. So don't worry about it. It's going to help you. I guarantee you. In fact, you use some of the tips that I gave you tonight that I paid a lot of money. You remember I told you about that earlier? $3,000 just to know not to put ice in my water. Are you listening? Another thing that I learned too, I was speaking in North Carolina. Only 16 people were in the room, and many of them were a millionaire. And I was taking a course, 3-day course of public speaking. They're taping me and videoing me and giving me a session and all that stuff. So I was delivering the message and all that. And then they said, the millionaire said, Dr. Jonas, you do a great job. I mean, your message is powerful, but you look like you're mad. You look like you look like you're bad. And Miss Wilson, people used to tell me that at Kodak too. They walk down the hall and say, you look like mad. I said, ain't nothing wrong with me. I just look that way. You know what I've learned now? I learned to smile. I learned to smile. See, if people think you mad, you can't be talking about you look that way. You're going to have to straighten that up. Perception is everything. So now when I speak, I smile. And I found out I got a beautiful smile.
Oh, that's funny. So you said you read a lot of books and you participate in a lot of courses. What else do you do, or you would recommend for our viewers to do to get the tools and skills in their toolbox? So you said you read, you said you invest in mentorship and coaching. What are some other strategies that you do for those that might be listening or viewing the replay?
Well, affirmation is really true. And again, those of you that said, "Well, I don't like to read, or I don't have to read." Listen, you can go on YouTube. There's a lot of great things on YouTube that you can learn from, and they'll read the book to you. There's no excuse. I just love buying the book and reading the book to set responsibility for my life and say I'm never. But and you can mentor. You can get in groups that are going somewhere that can encourage you. Invest in yourself. You know, the holiday time is coming. Give yourself a gift of life, and I tell you, you will never be the same. Again, 4 brand new book, all of them made Amazon bestseller, and I've just met one of the author Saturday. We did it all through all on the laptop, all right. And by the way, I've been on numerous conferences all the way in London. The other day, I've been on one with 6 of the 7 continents on it, and I can see the people and they can see me. I mean, it's right here. And by the way, let me just say this to you. Listen, this pandemic is going to pass, but don't let it pass you. Don't let it pass you. I'm better because I chose this time. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but I turned I haven't watched a television program in 7 months. It gave me more time to study, gave me more time to work, to think, and to use the brilliant brain that you have. There are a number of things that you can do that can help you. Line up with some positive people that can encourage you. And people that are going where you want to go. Let me tell you something else I've learned in life. If you are hanging around with 5 broke people, you will be number 6. I get into group that is way smarter than me. But that helps me. That causes me to stretch. See, our brain is like a rubber band. Once it's stretched with good knowledge, you'll never be satisfied going back. You know, I'm going to tell you something as I get ready to close. Average, are y'all listening to me? You know I love you. Average is over. Let me repeat that. Average is over. Your average ain't going to get you nowhere. I think it was Frederick Douglass that says, you might not get everything you work for, but for everything you get, you're going to have to work. There's no free lunch. But you're going to have to believe in yourself. This is your time and this is your turn. This is the 4th quarter of your life, of this year. Get it done in 2021. Now, let me give you my information just in case, so I don't forget, in case some of you have to go earlier. Here's where you can get your free gift. www.jonas, Jonas, jonasbonus.com. www.jonasbonus.com. And it's hot off the press. I just designed a beautiful website. It's fresh. It's coming right down to a nice cup. And it gives you the 7 C's to be effective communicator. And once you get it, you just have to put your name in and the email in, and it'll come right down to you in that sense. And then for those of you, some of you, and you got it on the screen, it's right there. It's right there. Wonderful. Some of you, if you want to talk to me personally, if you have some questions for me, of what I said, you can reach me at 585-703-9547. That's 585-703-9547. I'll be happy to talk to you. Now, I'm not going to talk to you all day now. Come on, come on now. My conversation outside of this now comes with an invoice. but I'll be happy to talk to you and answer some questions if you want some clarity.
Dr. Jonas, I'm telling you, you always show up, you show out, and you deliver. You definitely give more than you listen. You done gave so much information. Those who are still with us, if you could just drop in the comments, like, what did you get from Dr. Jonas? And if you didn't catch those bonuses that he was dropping throughout the podcast, I'm telling you, this has been Dr. Jonas really did give you some awesome tips. And he said, these is free. Now, in order to get the next step outside of his free gift, if you don't pick that up, that'll come with the FEE fee. It's so funny that everything that Dr. Jonas was saying, but he's right. I mean, you have to communicate. Interestingly enough, and it's so funny, Dr. Jonas and I was actually in a Speak and Write accelerator course with Dr. Cheryl Wood. So we are classmates, and we've never, outside of the class, we've never met physically. So
That's
it's
right.
always good to be in company with family where you have met somebody and you're able to collaborate and able to compound and both be able to help people change the world. So that's really what we are about. And Dr. Jonas is doing that through his coaching. And you need to make sure that you are getting in contact with him, so that you can stay abreast of what he's doing, because he done already told you he is going to give it all. And that's one of the things that people don't realize, is that they don't realize when you are being mentored by somebody or being coached by somebody, you get more than their degree. You get more than what's on paper, their work experience. You get all of the programs that Dr. Jonas has been in. You get all of the coaching that he's received. You get all of the daily reads and podcasts and all his connections. You get all of that. And that's stuff that can't be captured, that people don't realize. And that's why you need a coach. That's why you need a mentor. That's why you have to get into groups in which you are not the smartest one in the group, so that you can continue to get that value. You're getting that unseen value. So we do have somebody that said, yes, 3 things to master great information. So they love that: master yourself, master your subject, and master your specific audience. So Dr. Jonas, as we wrap up, do you have any final tidbits for our viewers and listeners that they can take and implement right away?
Yes, just to encourage, one of the things that I live by is, since greatness is possible, excellent is not enough. So that's one of the things I want to encourage. And then listen, and don't let your past don't have to equal your future. You cannot change, bonus from Jonas, you cannot change your past, but you can change your path and make a different decision. Now, in the last bonus I'll leave with you, the lesson that I shared with you tonight, and with Miss Wilson been sharing with her broadcast often on Tuesday night, is that to keep in mind that either you're going to prepare your life now, or you're going to spend a life that you have to repair. I rather prepare than repair. And that's what this message can do for you tonight. This is what the message that Ms. Wilson brings to you every Tuesday night, and the people that she takes the time to interview. And I just want to say to you, Ms. Wilson, thank you so much for what you are doing. It's a great work. I told you this off the camera, so I want to tell you this on camera. I was watching you a couple of weeks ago on Tuesday night on Facebook, and I said, "Who is that?" Her setting was set so beautiful. She was so adequate and speaking so clearly. I said, "Who is that?" So I wrote her to say her program, and she wrote back, "You know me." We went to the same class, and boy, you should have seen my shoulder. Oh, that's my classmate, man. She got it going on. So thank you so much for having us. Again, I would leave with one spiritual thing. Is in 3 John 1:2. It said, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you will prosper and be in health, even as your soul also prosper." God bless you, and I love you all with the love of the Lord. And thanks again, Miss Wilson.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jonas. You were awesome. I really appreciate having you in our virtual learning laboratory. We have one last comment that I want to leave us with, and that's from Ella. She says she learned so much, but my takeaway is your preparation will show up in your presentation. And so I think that is a great way to end our segment tonight. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you, listening audience and viewing audience, for tuning in to this episode of Leadership Tidbits with Coach T. Wilson. Please make sure you share this broadcast out, because you may be the key that opens up a door for somebody else. You might be that messenger. So please share this out. Come back week after week. We'll be here next Tuesday. If you are not connected with me, please connect with me, Coach T. Wilson. That's T-E-E Wilson on all of the social medias. I have a daily leadership tidbit that goes out. I have other podcasts that gives you that quick practical tips that you can use on the go, that those bite-sized nuggets. So please get connected with me. My goal, my mission in life is to empower 1 million leaders around the world before my time here is done. So thank you for allowing me to pour into you tonight, and for allowing Dr. Jonas to pour into you tonight. And until we meet again, I hope you have an amazing week.